white balance. The white doesn't even look white on my camera. Whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't look white in the video either.
That's weird because it's got white light shining on it. It's definitely white.
Yes, but is it actually white or is it like pearlescent or off-white? Computer, turn on recording lights.
It's a little pearlescent. This is jewel white.
That's not white.
No, I know, but that's cream. This is whiter than jewel. It's more of a bluey white.
Welcome to Namely 90s. Wow. The podcast that takes you back to the time before smartphones, Google, and Y2K. Join your hosts as they relive the pop culture that shaped a generation and the parts that many people wish they could forget. Listen in to the conversation about how the decade defined those who spent their childhood there and how it shaped them as adults. So, turn down the grunge and dial up the internet. Let's get started. It's time for Namely 90s.
That's right. You're listening to Namely 90s.
We're now in our murder podcast phase.
Well, no, I do feel like it's a whole like intro with us, whereas other people it's just like, hi. You're listening to NPR. No,
that's because you loved radio when we started, so you're all like,
"It's not." No, it is a little like the whole talking.
Like a minute-long bumper.
Like talking over fading music is such a radio. It's bad. I'm sorry. We can just start going like, "Hello, this is Namely 90s."
We could be like other podcasts where they do the intro music and then it completely cuts off, and then they fade in with, "Hello, this is Namely 90s."
That being said, the music has long ago faded. Hi, this is Namely 90s. Thanks for listening. I'm Andrew, and that's Brandon.
That's me.
And we welcome you to the show. You can find us online at namely90s.com or on Twitter and Instagram at namely90s with a 90s. You can also watch this show on YouTube should you care to do so. And that's at namely90s.com/YouTube because we don't have enough subscribers for the vanity URL. And I don't even subscribe for some reason.
Yeah. It's also a shame that we just got super meta and self-conscious in the beginning there, because now I don't know how to time the fade out to our intro music. Because
yeah, exactly.
So some inside baseball for you. I let the music fade out around the time that I finish saying "that's me." Just for all you.
Well, you're gonna have to get those creative juices flowing.
Fans. Yeah. It eventually runs out anyways.
So this is episode 44, March 1997. 44 episodes. That's just a lot of weeks. But hey, we're almost to a year. This is fun. I didn't sound very convinced when I said that, did I?
I know, right? It's like, this is a chore for you? This is a chore for me.
No. Okay, well, there you go. Everyone likes to know that we really enjoy what we're doing.
No, I'm just kidding.
It makes it more relatable.
Yeah, this is work for us, so please pay it. No, but if you want to be on our 1 year anniversary spectacular, email us a soundbite at what was it? Fans at namely90s.com.
Insert email here. .com. I don't know.
No, we have one that we had set up so we don't give out our email that we use with all of our accounts.
Did we set one up? Well,
yes, or maybe we didn't.
Our email address is
this.
Insert email here.
And also take out when Andrew gave our private email away.
Whoops. But the other thing is, I feel like we haven't yet received a comment from any person other than other podcasts that we've talked to before.
I'm just putting it out in the ether. And if fans would like to record themselves and send it in, we will play it on our 1 year anniversary special that's coming out.
Tweet your tweeter and then email us if you want.
That's
fine.
Oh yeah, you can also just tweet us at namely 90s with the 90s if you want a congratulatory message read on the air.
Apparently what podcasts do is they make up like merch that you have phrases on. And I swear to God, if we ever have more than like 3.5 listeners, we need to have a computer turn off fridge shirt.
Well, funny you should say that. We have some surprises coming for our anniversary spectacular,
including anniversary merch. No, I don't know.
He doesn't know.
These days, you can just go and like make a free account and just slap your logo on something, and if people buy it, then they make money. You make money. Like it used to be a real big deal. You had to screen print them in your basement or whatever, but now you don't have to.
You just have the reason why I have a green screen behind me is because I just have boxes of our future merch just piled up on my counter.
Future merch, blank mugs and shirts. You've gotten into screen printing. It's going to be great. But no, seriously, we should think about what should be on the shirts that are never going to exist.
The first thing that we're going to be having is a old 90s toy. So I'll let you figure that out over the next couple episodes if you can figure out what is going to be.
All right, I'm gonna rack my brain.
And it's not purchasable merch. It's a reward tier. So yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
But shirts,
namely 90s Patreon coming to you on our 1 anniversary spectacular.
I don't know. There's others.
I'm sure we'll have actual.
But we can brainstorm.
That's me. Well, to be fair, I've stolen that from Ask Ashley from All That, played by Amanda Bynes.
How about one that says, "And let me guess, you've never seen it." And it's just because that's a phrase.
It's just like two dead eyes staring at you. Yeah.
Anyway, well, that's great. I'm excited for the 1 year extravaganza.
Nice. Yeah, personally. Me too. But before that, I also just wanted to wish everyone or anyone that is celebrating today, happy Holly. Or is it pronounced holy?
Please tell us more about that.
The Indian celebration of colors.
Okay, I'm going to reveal my ignorance by saying I've never heard of it and didn't know what it was.
It's around this time of year you always see everyone just being on Instagram, just being smashed with colored powders, like their entire. You must not have cultural friends on your Instagram, but it's.
What does that mean? I don't have.
Well, okay. I mean, look at where you live, and things.
Yeah. You're right. Okay.
I'm
in Idaho right now, so
I'm somewhat Asian. Yeah. You might just type HOLI into your.
Sorry about that. In this, yeah.
Just type HOLI into your.
You said sorry about
Google.
That when you said you were part Asian. Okay, I'm doing it.
HOLI into your Google image search, and also this coming weekend.
Oh yeah.
You recognize that. And then this coming weekend is Easter.
Yes.
So, do you have any Easter plans? Any Easter memories we should share before we get into our?
Absolutely not. No, I don't. But I guess one thing we should address is sending our thoughts to the people of Boulder, Colorado, obviously with the events there. It's too bad that that's such a commonplace occurrence in this country. Just wanted to take a moment and acknowledge that. We're getting deep here.
Yeah. Okay. I just don't. I
feel like you can't completely leave that alone. Just it's worth mentioning. And again, support to the families, but also, hey, what if we found a way that this didn't happen anymore? Just a thought. I'm just gonna leave that with you guys. You can decide how you feel about that.
While we're on this deeper train, also to those from the Georgia shootings, and as a half Asian, I have to say, stop the Asian hate crimes, please.
Yeah, please. It'd be great. Our society would thank you. Go on Rocket League and yell at 12-year-olds instead to take out your anger. That's fine. But stop shooting people and stuff. Okay. Now that we got that out of the way. What the heck was going on in March 1997?
So let me take you back to March 1997. On the 3rd, Camila Cabello is born. She's apparently a former Fifth Harmony member and now has a solo singing career. She was born in Cuba. On the 4th, do you know who Camila Cabello is?
Yeah, she had this song. I forget what it was, but she kept using the phrase "una na" in it. But then someone made a version of the video where every time she said the phrase "una na," they sped it up some amount. So by the end of the video, it was like this outrageous speed. It was pretty fun. It was pretty good.
I do love the
Instagram. I don't know.
You've seen the B movie version of that one when someone says the word, I think it's B, right?
Oh, no, I did not, but I want to now.
It gets through the movie pretty fast. On the 4th, President Clinton bans human cloning research in the United States of America. On the 10th, never mind. On the 11th, Gene Roddenberry's ashes are launched into space. Also on the 11th, Sir Paul McCartney of the Beatles is knighted by Queen Elizabeth II.
Thanks for letting us know he was of the Beatles. That was helpful.
Oh, sorry. Sir Paul McCartney of Wings. The band. On the 13th, the Phoenix Lights are seen at night over Arizona by hundreds. Do you know what those
Creepy.
are? Yeah. On the 14th...
I'd have to look it up. I've seen a lot of UFO footage.
On the 14th, Simone Biles... Is it Biles? Olympic gymnast and gold medalist in the 2016 Olympics is born. On the 17th, CNN starts Spanish broadcasts. Also on the 17th, Toonami debuts on Cartoon Network. And on the 30th, Vanilla Ice gets married. TV premiering in...
Sorry, did you say Fox News starts Spanish broadcasts?
No, they've not started that yet. In 2020.
Yeah, so they've still yet to do that. Exactly. Live from the border. That's the only time they get Spanish on their network.
In the TV department, a lot of TV premiering mid-season, I guess. On the 3rd, we have Daria, the Beavis and Butthead spinoff on MTV. On the 4th, Just Shoot Me on NBC. Everyone knows Andrew loves that show. On the 4th as well, The Practice on ABC. On the 5th, we have Arsenio on ABC.
Is that the one with Dylan McDermott? Sorry.
As the older...
I think that's one with Dylan McDermott. He's now in the new Law & Order organized crime show.
You're talking about The Practice, not
coming to
Just Shoot
NBC.
Me.
Yeah, I'm talking about the Practice.
Yes.
Yeah, Just Shoot Me. That was the one with Dylan McDermott and David Spade. That's on the 10th, everyone knows that.
On the 10th, we have Buffy the Vampire Slayer premiering on the WB. I have a UPN written down, but we did this in a game, and I
Dubba.
It left WB. For the UPN.
Well,
right?
It moves to the UPN.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
That's what happened. On the 26th,
pre-CW.
Yeah, on the 26th, we have Smart Guy premiering on the WB. That's with Taj Mowry, the younger brother of Tia and Tamara Mowry. The
Smart
twins.
Guy.
Yes.
We watched that show. Is that like the original Young Sheldon, but I don't hate it so much?
Yes, pretty much. And is it because he's not a pretentious douche?
Yeah, I think he's just a genius, and it's not like it's like a prequel to a show that is crappy to begin with. But no thanks.
Yeah. And in the box office, on the 2nd, we have Jungle to Jungle. On the 14th, we have Return of the Jedi Special Edition. On the 18th, we have Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. On the 21st, The Godfather re-release. On the 21st, Liar Liar and Selena. And finally, on the 28th, we have Turbo, a Power Rangers movie. And on the Billboard charts for the 4th week on the Billboard charts for 1997 March, number 1 on the first 3 weeks is Wannabe by the Spice Girls, which drops to number 2 for our 4th week. And then number 1 the last 2 weeks is Can't Nobody Hold Me Down by Puff Daddy featuring Maze. which is a song
featuring the jacket grab in a wind tunnel.
No, that's only when he's in a Biggie a Biggie music video. Although,
oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realiage that. Okay, my mistake.
He's struck out on his own now. Maze is still with him for some reason, but. It also, the weirdest thing about this is it samples the same song that Ice Cube samples in Check Yourself, which is arguably the better song, and I was waiting for the song to turn into when I was listening to it. I think it's an Isley Brothers song. Fair enough. Also, in the fourth week, at number 3, we have Foolish Games / You Were Meant For Me by Huel. On the 5th, we have Unbreak My Heart by Tony Braxton. On the 10th, I Believe I Can Fly by a convicted statutory rapist. No.
I Believe I Can Be Arrested. He's like a caged bird, or should be anyway.
Sorry, alleged. R. Kelly. On the 13th, Every Day is a Winding Road by Sheryl Crow. And number 24, Return of the Mac by Mark Morrison. Do you remember Return of the Mac?
I do remember that.
Nice.
I do. And now, a reading from the Book of Jewel. Camouflage. A gay man is sitting in a hotel lobby smoking a cigarette. He stomachs my breasts dutifully like spinach or lima beans or other things that make one sick because he fears the rednecks at the bar are onto him.
Oh,
that seems sort of...
That's the whole thing?
That's the whole poem. That seems sort of conceited, honestly. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying.
I mean...
Like, hey, Jewel, don't make it about you.
I guess. Is it odd that I would also stare at her rack? Thank Jewel.
What? Yeah, thanks, Jewel. That's dumb. I don't like that. But yet I read it anyway.
And now back to the show. So, anywhere you want to go?
R. Kelly's really horrible. As I just mentioned, wow, R. Kelly's horrible. Let's see here. I'm just going to call out the things on the list that are interesting and that what's weird is I've actually seen like 3 of the movies on the movie list.
Whoa.
Which is shocking.
That is crazy.
I was going to make a joke about Vanilla Ice having an ice sculpture at his wedding. Then I realized it wasn't funny. It's a Dylan McDermott, Law and Order. What's it called? Organized Crime with the return of Elliot Stabler happening on April 1st.
Was that Criminal Intent?
No, he was from SVU.
Oh.
Mariska Hargitay and Christopher Maloney.
Well, you said Organized Crime.
Yeah, it's a spin-off of SVU.
Oh, there's a spin-off of the spin-off?
Yeah,
fascinating.
Exactly.
I didn't know
they
that.
Spun the ass out of that. There's something else. Oh, the movie Liar Liar I always found super funny. I just remember he walks into the office and the guy's like, "Hey, Fletcher, what's up?" And he goes, "Your cholesterol," because the guy's super fat. Funny.
We don't touch on this enough. You were a big Jim Carrey fan in the 90s that I didn't know until we did this podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed The Mask. I like your comment that it was stupid when the dog put the mask on. Anyway, and then, of course, Jewel breaks into the Billboard charts, as always, in the 1990s. So, welcome edition there. Let's. I have one thing I want to talk about, but let's do that later.
Okay. Then I think the big one for today is Buffy. We talked about Joss Whedon being a creep a few episodes ago, but we didn't.
Yes.
And I don't know if we've actually spent time on this podcast talking about Buffy. We've mentioned your brother was the one that watched it more than we did in its initial run. But I know I I got into it around 2003 because I started watching the fourth season of Angel. I think we talked about Angel. I think that's what happened. But
we did. I mean, I've watched episodes of Buffy, but I've never watched it all the way through that I can recall. So at some point I should do that with my abundance of time.
It's quite good. I just finished my rewatch. I guess I do it every 5 years now, since it was the second time I rewatched it. It's all on, I think, Hulu or Netflix or one of the streaming services. But yeah, first 3 seasons are gold. Then Angel leaves. The 4th season's okay. And then it kind of gets until the 7th and final season. But yeah, Sarah Michelle Gellar as Buffy Summers. If you don't know what Buffy the Vampire Slayer is, and you're one of the people that watches vampire stuff, you need to go back and watch Buffy.
Shame on you. Yeah. Shame.
Here's the synopsis. Buffy Summers is the Slayer, one in a long line of young women chosen by fate to battle the forces of evil. This mystical calling grants her powers that dramatically increase her physical strength, endurance, agility, accelerated healing, intuition, and a limited degree of precognition, which usually in the form of prophetic dreams. And she has returned from death. This isn't actually a plot summary, is it? Anyways, she's a reluctant hero who wants to just live a normal life. But she also has to embrace her destiny as the Vampire Slayer.
I prefer shows where Kyle Chandler has precognition in the form of a cat that delivers a newspaper a day early. Thank you very much.
We did. Okay, now it is coming back to me. We talked about the guy with the cheese.
The cheese guy.
Although that's possibly
for whatever reason that stands out to me the most out of anything from that show. That's
also possibly just when we were talking about it when we were playing Rocket League with Kayla.
Well, how about the creepy guy? The creepy guys in the suits that are kind of skeletal and they're like bald. Who are those guys?
They kind of just like scroll. Yeah. So that was a good episode. That was an episode where those demons, they stole everyone's voices in town. So the entire episode, everyone was silent. Like they couldn't talk. Is
this stuff still okay to put on TV? This is scary.
It was scary, and like because they didn't have special effects they didn't have CGI on television that much back then. It was, other than like them dusting the vampires, they had to rely heavily on prosthetics and makeup and the like. But yeah, Buffy Summers.
Was it a spinoff of Charmed? No, I'm just kidding.
Buffy Summers was played by Sarah Michelle Gellar. Willow, her best friend, and eventual, I think she becomes, she realizes she's a lesbian in season 4 or 5. Spoilers.
Yes, she
does. Played by Allison Hannigan, who's been acting since she was -2, most likely. She was also in How I Met Your Mother. Nicholas Brendan played Xander, kind of the Joss Whedon surrogate in the show. So that kind of explains a lot of his creepiness and responses.
And he's gone on to be in thousands of very successful movies and television shows.
He also has a twin
brother. Wrong
person. Yeah, he also has a twin brother. Then the love interest for the first 3 seasons was Angel, played by David Boreanaz, who's also in Bones for 12 seasons. Good God.
Whose career fizzled out and died immediately after. No, just kidding.
Yeah, no, he immediately went to
Bones.
Everything.
He's like in that SWAT show too.
Yeah, he's in SWAT. He plays a good
or whatever it's called,
stoic federal agent or military person.
Yes.
Who else? Seth Green was in it for the first couple seasons as Oz the werewolf.
Yeah.
Just a great.
Don't forget, was it Anthony Stewart Head as?
Oh yes,
Giles.
Anthony Stewart Head as Giles.
Always a favorite.
The mentor. What do they call them? The Watcher, as they say.
The librarian.
Yeah, that was his
from the outside looking in, kind of awkward how much time he spends with these people.
Oh yeah. Everyone's constantly questioning why he's always hanging out with teenagers. And then Charisma Carpenter played the popular girl Cordelia Chase, and so many others. Spike was another vampire that eventually got his soul, played by I used to be able to do this. I don't remember his actual name. But yeah, he had the
James Marsters, right?
Yes, James Marsters. He had that the bleach blonde hair and the British accent, and very cool. He was the grand.
Wasn't there like a female
Angel.
Antagonist, like a recurring female antagonist of some kind?
Well, there in season 5, Glory was a female demigod. The female vampire Drusilla and Darla.
Yeah, maybe that was between. Yeah, that was the one. Like between her and Spike, it reminded me of Team Rocket. From,
yes, because they would always lose and then just be back in the next episode, and they were very.
Yeah. Oh, we forgot to mention. Oh gosh, what's her name? Pete and Pete.
This younger sister Dawn, played by Michelle Trachtenberg.
Yes.
Who also went on to do a lot of television.
She actually did, though, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, she was in House. I know that.
I think she was in Gossip Girl, and not that I've ever watched that show, but
sure. Okay, you're not on your 5th rewatch of that one.
It's on my list. It's on my list. No,
shouldn't it be called Gossip Guy? Spoiler alert. Just saying.
I haven't actually watched it. Have you watched it?
From now on, I'm signing off this podcast with XOXO Gossip Girl. Just.
Wait, so they did like the wrap up, like Sex and the City style, and like Doogie Howser style at the end of
it was like some outrageous voiceover, and then it was at the end XOXO Gossip Girl.
Oh, so it was like Scrubs with like the Zach Braff narration at the end of the episode, just summing everything up in a concise manner.
Better than Fox, where at the end of every show, people just like reflect privately to some sort of like sappy song they found that's somewhat acoustic.
Yeah. Eliza Dushku is in it as the evil Slayer, not evil Slayer, evil Vampire Slayer, Faith, for season 3.
Yeah, I forgot about her. Yeah, she was. Yep.
She becomes a beloved character and eventually gets her redemption on Angel, and then comes back to Buffy in season 7. Spoilers. Yeah. So it's a great show. I highly recommend it.
Good for her.
Yeah. Elijah, I mean, she was in stuff. She was popular at that time. She was in The New Guy and Bring It On.
Bring It On, right?
Yes. Yeah. She was also in the early 90s in that Arnold Schwarzenegger action movie with Jamie Lee Curtis, I think. I want to say My Two Dads, but that's...
She was also in the television show True Calling for 2 seasons.
She was the main star of True Calling, followed by the main star of Dollhouse.
Wait, Zach Galifianakis was in that.
True Calling?
What?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I knew that.
Zach Galifianakis was in True Calling.
Yeah, he was like the nerdy...
And Jason Priestley.
I've never watched an episode, but yes. Yeah, that was, I don't know, True Calling, I never watched. I did watch her in Dollhouse because that was another Joss Whedon thing. I think it got 2 seasons. She was good in that.
Oh, was it really? I didn't know that.
Yep.
Huh.
Because that was the first thing back after Firefly, which is why they didn't cancel it after 1 season. They canceled it after 2. Speaking of 2, I wanted to talk about Toonami a little bit because that was my grade school, later grade school, early middle school afternoons. Come home, watch Toonami, which was on Cartoon Network. It's an American television programming block, and it initially ran on weekday afternoons from 97 to 2004. It was primarily aimed at children aged 9 through 14, which was exactly what I just described. And it was known for showcasing action-oriented animation with heavy focus on Japanese animation, which widely became popular with American audiences. And it also had like a robot host named Tom, which was kind of cool. It was originally hosted by one of the Space Ghost people, I feel like, Zorak. But this is what brought me Dragon Ball Z. This is what brought me Gundam Wing, The Real Adventures of Johnny Quest.
I
want to say Robotech, which was a Americanization of Macross from Japan. Dragon Ball Z was so cool as a kid, but now looking back on it, it's just guys screaming at each other for 5 episodes saying they're powering up before actually fighting.
Yeah, it's really true. They power up forever.
Last time on Dragon Ball Z, Goku reached a new power level. And Frieza became even more angry. Oh, my favorite thing was in the American dub, it might even be in the Japanese original, the villain Frieza like shoots this little ball into the planet's core that's supposed to explode the planet in 5 minutes, and like I think 10 to 20 episodes later the planet finally explodes. I'm pretty sure that's a little bit longer than 5 minutes. Just saying. Yeah. It also gave us
just a bit.
It got me addicted to Gundam. Like that was my gateway into like Japanese animation, other than they used to show like Sailor Moon before school on UPN, I think. And Pokemon, of course, but you know, so it wasn't like hardcore action. Like it was very melodramatic, and that's, as a kid in that age range, you're like, yeah, that's cool. Andrew wasn't as impressed from what I remember. Oh, speaking of things, we need to go back to Buffy just for 1 second, because I remembered as we were talking about it, your brother, as we said, your brother used to watch Buffy. We used to play Buffy as kids, and I did not understand the concept at all. You're like, you stake someone, and then they just turn into dust, because the vampires turn into dust in the show. And I just, like, it didn't click until I finally saw Buffy and Angel, like years after we did that as kids. I just thought I'd bring that up because I wanted to. But yeah, I also remember.
I think they actually had like pieces of sticks that were carved into stakes.
Yes, you had. Well, they did. They carved stakes,
which is creepy.
Your brother, it was either your brother or you carved your own stakes, or I think your brother had carved stakes, and then we used them in our children playing games.
Our make believe. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why we needed them, but we also threw them into the ground to see if they would stick. And they did.
And there was that time I stabbed you through the heart with one, and then then
I exploded into dust.
Exploded into a cloud of dust. But yeah, anyway.
But then
you began to sparkle in the sunlight. No, that didn't happen.
No, these vampires explode into flames if they walk into the sun. Not immediately, like they'll catch on fire. But yeah. Yeah, Toonami. I remember they had these cool music video commercials that were just like EDM music, or what would eventually be EDM style music, and then just like cool dramatic line readings and pictures of things flying into space. And it was just it was a good time. I remember quoting something from, I think it was the Gundam Wing early commercial, and it was just like, he got sick of it because after a while I just kept saying it. I think it was like, say goodnight, sister, or something like that. And you're just like, ugh. You said you wanted to bring something up later in the episode?
So the other thing I wanted to talk about, you mentioned this, was the Phoenix Lights incident.
Oh, not Jungle to Jungle?
Which is like the... no, although it's listed under the Jungle to Jungle heading, which made me laugh. Because I was like, how does this have to do with Tim Allen?
The second paragraph.
It says... I'm going to read this. The Phoenix Lights, sometimes called the Lights over Phoenix, were a series of widely sighted unidentified flying objects, or UFOs, observed in the skies over the U.S. states of Arizona, Nevada, and the Mexican state of Sonora on March 13th, 1997. I always think paragraph. So. What's your explanation for something like this? Do you think these are real UFOs?
There are definitely like videos where you see things that cannot occur naturally while flying aircraft that the general public knows about. And I think the second set of sightings from that night was allegedly the USAF, an A-10 Warthog dropping flares in a triangle formation. But the first one sounds like it could have. I believe that there are aliens. I don't believe that they would take the time to visit us or have the capability to travel here.
The thing for me, every time they try to explain like how it was an optical illusion or whatever, it always just sounds like complete BS.
Right.
You don't know what I mean? They're like, well, you see the heat effect caused a mirage, which caused it to look like the heat. It's like, shut up. That's not true. No. And then I think it's funny that the governor at the time called the incident or the object otherworldly, but his name was Fife Symington. Like, I can't trust a guy named Fife. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's barely a name of a city.
Yeah, and how he became governor is just a mystery to me. Maybe he's an alien.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Arizona's been ruled by aliens since the Roswell, New Mexico crash in 1941.
But I would tend to agree. I mean, are aliens traveling to the Earth to just like flash lights at us and see what happens? Does the Air Force have more advanced planes than we realize? Maybe. I don't know. It's very unusual.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, if aliens were capable of traveling here, then it would be possible that they might be technologically advanced enough that we would only see like small mirages or something in the sky. But like, if you look at our current level of technology and the supposed evolution of where our technology will go over the next couple 100 to 1,000 years, I don't think we'd ever be capable of like what these spacecraft do, allegedly.
So two things. One is, I think people overestimate the amount of information you can get from anal probing. That's thing one. Second of all, that's a shirt right there. Second of all, this doesn't really relate to what I was just talking about, but have you seen that cool, like this concept of how we as a civilization are going to mark the areas where we've buried our nuclear waste and like explain to cultures that won't share our language that it's an unsafe place to go?
No,
have you read about that whole thing?
I have not.
Well, I would recommend it. Nuclear waste.
And FYI, that's what the dinosaurs did. And that's why we have gasoline now.
There's a whole thing about, oh my gosh, what is it? Well, I'm going to try to find it so that people can look into it, but it's like, it's pretty interesting. It could be its own podcast on its own, but gosh, I want to find the name of this so you guys can look at it. This is cool.
And while he's doing that, I'll just yammer on about the Turbo Power Rangers movie, which I've brought up before and said that that's probably only Power Rangers property that I've not watched from start to finish. Not including the last current season of Power Rangers. Actually, I'm watching the previous series right now while I edit, since I don't have to pay attention to what's going on. It's like watching Pokemon when you're a kid. You know Team Rocket's going to attack. You know they're going to be blasting off again. And then
they'll be back the next time.
Yeah, and then whatever Pokemon of the week has a happy reunion with whoever they got stolen from. Did you find it?
Apparently it's called long-term nuclear waste warning messages, or nuclear
because we're going to be dead.
Semiotics. Well, what they're trying to do is
an exaggeration.
Show people not to go there. But by sending the message not to go there, the worry is, what are those people going to do? Immediately go there. Like that's part of the issue. Like super danger, don't come here in whatever language we're trying to convey this in.
It'll say
like,
wear your
now
mask.
I'm curious. Exactly.
And people will just be like, no.
And someone's like, well, they can just put up a radioactivity sign. And someone's like, yeah, in like 10,000 years, that's not going to mean anything.
Yeah, it's like
I just thought that was
a couple triangles.
But it reminded me of aliens because if aliens visit or something, I don't know. It just seemed related somehow.
Nice. Well, we ran a little long today, so that's it for this week's edition of Namely 90s. Remember, you can find new episodes out every Monday. Find us on Twitter at Namely 90s with a 90s, or find our personal accounts at bschwitty and at Namely Andrew. You can also find us on Instagram at Namely 90s as well. Tell us what you want us to talk about on our future episodes or discuss this week's episode with us. You can also contact us through our website, namely90s.com. Please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Shift into Turbo, Deezer, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and wherever you get your podcasts at. I'm Brandon, that's Andrew, and we'll catch you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.